Mr. Joe Rogan.
All the stuff after I did Shiny Happy Jihad, that was my last CD, you know, which was really like the first thing that I ever did that I was really happy with. You know, when I was doing Fear Factor, it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of time that I wasn't putting my energy to comedy. I mean, it was great financially, it was great to make money, but comedy-wise, it wasn't the best thing in the world. And it's like, finally, when I did Shiny Happy Jihad, that was my first thing where I was free, where I was just doing comedy. You know, you can make all the money you want in a job that you don't like, and you know, even though you're fortunate to be able to be in that position, you're not gonna be as happy as making less money doing what you love, you know? You're not gonna be as funny if you're doing a bunch of horse shit that you don't like to do.
Pot makes you remember the important shit. Like, you could get so high, you forget to call your girlfriend. But you'll never get so high you forget how to use a phone.
You know, stand-up comedy is, it's really like a living philosophy. It's like your living point of view. Every single aspect of stand-up comedy basically represents your viewpoint, and how you see the world. That's what's funny about it. When you go see a guy, you're basically seeing the world through his point of view.
I think if a tiger was running at you full clip, your brain would just instantly start producing every psychedelic chemical it knows how to make. That tiger would leap and just burst into a kaleidoscope.
Boston is one of the best places ever to start out doing stand-up comedy, for sure, because it's a no bullshit town. You know, it's cold as fuck for 6 months out of the year, and people don't want to hear any bullshit. They don't want to hear any whining and complaining, and you know, there's a hard sensibility to that town, and the sense of humor that people have in that town is really like no other. You know, it's a dark, angry, mean sense of humor, and it's fucking great. For each show, I just try to have the best time possible. I just try to go out there, and this sounds corny, but it really is true. I heard someone say something about Joe DiMaggio once. Joe DiMaggio was like almost 40 years old and slid into third base, and a guy said to him, like, why are you playing so hard? You know, you're already in the Hall of Fame, you're Joe DiMaggio. And he goes, because somewhere out there in the audience there's someone who hasn't seen Joe DiMaggio play, and I don't want to let him down. It sounds corny, but I really, like, that meant a lot to me. When I heard that, I was like, yeah, I just want to always make sure when I do a live show that I do the best that I can.
Thank you very much. You guys have been an awesome fucking crowd. Thanks for coming out.
I listen to a lot of classic rock. I listen to a lot of like Allman Brothers, and a lot of Zeppelin, and a lot of like Doors, and I like 1960s, 1970s rock and roll for some reason. There was something in the 70s about music that there was something going on with the culture, and it was reflected in the music. You know, and a lot of it had to do with drugs. There is a connection between drugs and music that's unavoidable. You know, some of the best music came from guys who did heroin. You can't make a Nickelback song if you're on heroin. Whereas, you know, you listen to Nirvana, it's all soul, it's all pain and emotion, and it's all raw, and there's no false moments. Soundgarden is one of my all-time favorites. As far as like bands outside of 1970s and 60s, they're probably my favorite. Blow up the outside world? Are you fucking kidding me? You know, like when you're by yourself and you're driving down the highway and you crank that bitch, especially if you had a little of that, you know what I'm saying? And the fucking music just talks to you, and you just want to hit repeat and play it back like 3-4 times in a row. Yeah.